Hey folks, today we're going to talk about how different forms of identity verification work in Font Agent and working with the purchase register. Although Font Agent doesn't allow you to log in because it's a desktop application, we do require that you register the software against the server. So how do we do that? So if you're an administrator, the first thing that you want to do, of course, is pick the type of identity verification that you're going to use against your Active Directory. And there's many to choose from. As you can see here, we have a number of listed Active Directories that you can choose from. In this case, in this video, we're going to show the new Microsoft Azure AD multi-factor authentication setup. This was our first iteration here. It's now been deprecated by Microsoft, which means that it's being phased out. The other part of this process is if you select this, you want to go to Settings and you want to choose your login. If you're going to use Azure AD, you want to make sure that in the Settings tab you select Azure AD. From there, you want to create a profile. This is a server-side action, so we have to create a profile to install in the client. The first window you'll see is a window that goes over where this profile will be installed. This is a properties file for the server, which will show the server URL and email address so the server knows to use that function that's been selected. This could be a service email as well. I'm going to download that profile, and this profile will now be added to one of these locations here. None of this will work right without the server-side profile. This is very important. So let's take a look at where this folder resides. Okay, so proper placement of the file would be listed here above in the screenshot with the blown up dialog box. Here you'll place this file in the appropriate location. Hard drive, library, preferences, Insider software, version 9. Please keep in mind in this location you'll have to generate a folder called Insider software, all one word, a folder called v9, and once you do that you place the server properties file in that location. Once you do that, you can restart your client software, and now you'll have server-side communications. But this is a very important step. Make sure that it's put in the correct location. Please review the screenshot of the location, hard drive, library, preferences, Insider software, version 9. And that will give you the server-side controls you're looking for. And we look at how it's registered again, we are going to be presented with a couple of things. Once we put that server properties file in, restart your computer. Now that you've set up the server in order to manage Active Directory multi-factor authentication, and you've entered in the profile and you've restarted, then what you want to do is click the register button here, and you'll receive this feedback. This this dialog box, you'll receive this information. Say continue. All right, once you do that, you're going to receive this information. Enter in your Azure authentication information, email and password. And then once you've done that, you're going to receive this notification that the software has been registered. This is, once this registration takes place, it's only done once. You do not log in and log out of the software. And it'll tell you that it's been registered. And you've completed the Azure multi-factor authentication registration for FontAgent Client. Now that I've shown you a brief video of the steps to go through the process, here is the actual document. Login methods for FontAgent Cloud Server, Mac and Windows Client. If you follow these instructions, making sure that the server is selected to the correct login method, depending on what you use. In the video I showed you making sure that Azure AD is selected for the login method. It points to where the location of the system preferences that we showed you how to create needs to be directed, and that's for Mac and Windows. If you select email and password, this is what happens. You'll just register. If you select Kerberos, this is what you get as a notification that you've registered. But we're talking mainly about Azure AD, and this is Azure AD multi-factor authentication. You're going to go here and you're going to follow this information. When attempting to register the login method, the registration text fields will be dimmed. Okay. And then it wants you, when registering this, click the register button and you will be presented this pop-up menu. Boom. And we work with multiple browsers. This happens to be Chrome, showing you there, and the browser that's default will pop up, and then you'll enter in your Azure AD authentication information, email and address. And then once that happens, it will show a successful registration. All right, and then here's a little bit more information here. Please note that if you have any questions about this, contact support@insidersoftware.com. Thank you very much.